Let's bring in now the United States Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Thank you very much, Matt, for being here. This was President Trump, more from him, SOT 1 guys, on this deal. This was in the Oval Office. You were there on this weapons deal to Ukraine. More details, listen.
We've made a deal today where we are going to be sending them weapons and they're going to be paying for them. The United States will not be having any payment made. We're not buying it, but we will manufacture it and they're going to be paying for it.
So what do you want people to know about this deal?
Well, I think it's very important to know, first of all, kind of the days of the United States sending unlimited taxpayer dollars to defend Ukraine are over. President Trump has made a very smart decision and an agreement with NATO, which says Europe and Canada will pay for the weapons. The United States will manufacture them. Obviously, we make the best weapons systems in the world, and everyone wants them, and we're going to prioritize those going to Ukraine. And what this says also to Vladimir Putin, I think, is very loud and clear, which is, we've given you a chance for peace. President Trump is a peacemaker, but if you want war, we will arm Ukraine, and Europe will pay for it. It's actually, I think, a great step in ultimately bringing this war to a conclusion, to an end. In the last 18 months, Russia has gained about 1% of Ukrainian land. I mean, they're making no success. They're losing thousands of soldiers every single day, and way too many, private citizens in Ukraine and the big cities are being injured. So I think this is a great next step in finally ending this war. But again, if Vladimir Putin wants to continue to fight on the battlefields of Ukraine, the United States of America will sell Europe armaments so that they can be used by Ukraine to defend themselves.
Matt, like his predecessor, Jens Stoltenberg, Mark Rutte appears to be a big fan of the president. Here's what he said after the announcement.
This is really big. You called me on Thursday that you had taken a decision. And the decision is that you want Ukraine what it needs to have to maintain, to be able to defend itself against Russia, but you do want Europeans to pay for it, which is totally logical. And this is building on the tremendous success of the NATO summit.
I mean, this changes the status quo quite dramatically. It used to be that the Europeans would like to have Ukraine have weapons, but they're very happy to have the United States pay for it. Now they're ponying up for it, so that's different. But how also do you think Putin's going to react to this?
Yeah. Well, obviously, he's going to react to not only the United States weapons being readily available to the Ukrainians at Europe's expense, he's also going to respond, obviously, to this tariff, and especially as the people that are enabling him, China, India, and others that are buying his oil. But, this is a natural progression of what we did in The Hague at the NATO summit, too. It's, we moved the burden off the American taxpayer for European defense and onto European taxpayers where it should be. And the traditional defense of Europe is now going to be borne by the European population. And at the same time, we're doing the same thing with the Ukrainian war. President Trump said today, $350 billion of American taxpayers' money has gone to the support Ukraine. No longer, but at the same time, we're not cutting them off from weapons, and we're also not making the United States of America less secure. We're going to make sure that strategically we have enough that we need, and then anything else that we can make, manufacture, and sell to our European allies and give to Ukraine, I think is a perfect and elegant solution for this.
And now there's this idea of secondary tariffs, 50-day deadline. This may be the leverage that President Trump thinks he has with Vladimir Putin and Russia. And to John's point about this relationship with the NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte, President Trump has spoken very highly of their relationship in the past. Here's just more of a sampling from the Oval Office, an exchange on this war, and it just keeps going on and on. Listen.
I felt, I don't know about you, Mark, but I felt that we had a deal about 4 times. And here we are, still talking about
And he didn't send serious people to the negotiations. So
we thought, and I thought, we should have had a deal done a long time ago. But it just keeps going on and on.
Feel free to weigh in on that, Matt, but also having been in that Oval Office when all of this was going down, how important is it that they really seem to have developed a very strong relationship, the two of them?
Yeah, and obviously, General Secretary Rutte is a very good politician. He was 14 years as the Dutch prime minister, and he knows how European politics works, and he can obviously bring people to the table in Europe. Obviously, President Trump is the master deal maker, and I think he saw an opportunity here to not only bring jobs to middle America through making weapon systems. I've seen some of those manufacturing things like in Lima, Ohio, where they build tanks, for example. And so I think there's a real opportunity here to help the U.S. economy, but at the same time help Ukraine, and Europe's going to pay for it. And so, but obviously Secretary Rutte is a very important piece of this, and I look, every day that I work with him is enjoyable because he's such a professional, and he is equally working hard to make NATO strong and make, most importantly, Europe strong. Because President Trump said it today when we were talking to him, and that is that a strong Europe, a Europe that can deter Russia, frees up the United States to address all of our strategic concerns across the globe, and that's a good thing for everyone.
I mean, it is so interesting to see opponents of the president whining about him insisting that NATO nations pony up and do their share. But the people who seem to like it are the people who are running NATO. Matt, great to catch up with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.